O Lord God, remember me, I pray. Strengthen me, I pray, just this once, O God, that I may with one blow take vengeance on the Philistines for my 2 eyes.
A long time ago, the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord. And the Lord delivered them into the hand of the Philistines for 40 years. Now there was a certain man from Zorah, of the family of the Danites, whose name was Manoah, and his wife was barren and had no children.
If only I can have my own child.
And the angel of the Lord appeared to the woman and said to her,
Indeed, now you are barren and have borne no children, but you shall conceive and bear a son. Now therefore, please be careful not to drink wine or similar drink, and not to eat anything unclean. For behold, you shall conceive and bear a son, and no razor shall come upon his head, for the child shall be a Nazirite to God from the womb, and he shall begin to deliver Israel out of the hand of the Philistines.
So the woman came and told her husband, saying,
A man of God came to me, and his countenance was like the countenance of the angel of God, very awesome. But I did not ask him where he was from, and he did not tell me his name. And he said to me, Behold, you shall conceive and bear a son. Now drink no wine or similar drink, nor eat anything unclean, for the child shall be a Nazirite to God from the womb to the day of his death.
Then Manoah prayed to the Lord and said,
O my Lord, please let the man of God whom you sent come to us again, and teach us what we shall do for the child who will be born.
And God listened to the voice of Manoah, and the angel of God came to the woman again as she was sitting in the field. But Manoah, her husband, was not with her. Then the woman ran in haste and told her husband and said to him,
Look, the man who came to me the other day has just now appeared to me.
So Manoah arose and followed his wife. When he came to the man, he said to him,
Are you the man who spoke to this woman?
I am. Now let your words come to pass. What will be the boy's rule of life and his work?
Of all that I said to the woman, let her be careful. She may not eat anything that comes from the vine, nor may she drink wine or similar drink, nor eat anything unclean. All that I commanded her, let her observe.
Please let us detain you, and we will prepare a young goat for you.
Though you detain me, I will not eat your food, but if you offer a burnt offering, you must offer it to the Lord.
For Manoah did not know he was the angel of the Lord. Then Manoah said to the angel of the Lord,
What is your name, that when your words come to pass we may honor you?
Why do you ask my name, seeing it is wonderful?
So Manoah took the young goat with the grain offering and offered it upon the rock to the Lord. And he did a wondrous thing while Manoah and his wife looked on. It happened as the flame went up toward heaven from the altar, the angel of the Lord ascended in the flame of the altar. When Manoah and his wife saw this, they fell on their faces to the ground. When the angel of the Lord appeared no more to Manoah and his wife, then Manoah knew that he was the angel of the Lord. And Manoah said to his wife,
We shall surely die, because we have seen God.
If the Lord had desired to kill us, he would not have accepted a burnt offering and a grain offering from our hands. Nor would he have shown us all these things, nor would he have told us such things as these at this time.
So the woman bore a son, and called his name Samson. And the child grew, and the Lord blessed him. And the Spirit of the Lord began to move upon him at Mahaneh-dan, between Zorah and Eshtaol. Now, Samson went down to Timnah, and saw a woman in Timnah of the daughters of the Philistines. So he went up and told his father and mother, saying,
I have seen a woman in Timnah of the daughters of the Philistines. Now, therefore, get her for me as a wife.
Is there no woman among the daughters of your brethren, or among all my people, that you must go and get a wife from the uncircumcised Philistines?
Get her for me, for she pleases me well.
But his father and mother did not know that it was of the Lord, that he was seeking an occasion to move against the Philistines. For at that time the Philistines had dominion over Israel. So Samson went down to Timnah with his father and mother, and came to the vineyards of Timnah. Now, to his surprise, a young lion came roaring against him, and the Spirit of the Lord came mightily upon him. And he tore the lion apart as one would have torn apart a young goat, though he had nothing in his hand. But he did not tell his father or his mother what he had done. Then he went down and talked with the woman, and she pleased Samson well. After some time, when he returned to get her, he turned aside to see the carcass of the lion. And behold, a swarm of bees and honey were in the carcass of the lion. He took some of it in his hands and went along, eating. When he came to his father and mother, he gave some to them, and they also ate. But he did not tell them that he had taken the honey out of the carcass of the lion. So his father went down to the woman, and Samson gave a feast there. For young men used to do so. And it happened, when they saw him, that they brought 30 companions to be with him. Then Samson said to them,
Let me pose a riddle to you. If you can correctly solve and explain it to me within the 7 days of the feast, then I will give you 30 linen garments and 30 changes of clothing. But if you cannot explain it to me, then you shall give me 30 linen garments and 30 changes of clothing.
Pose your riddle that we may hear it.
Out of the eater came something to eat, and out of the strong came something sweet.
Now for 3 days they could not explain the riddle. But it came to pass on the 7th day that they said to Samson's wife,
Entice your husband, that he may explain the riddle to us, or else we will burn you and your father's house with fire. Have you invited us in order to take what is ours? Is that not so?
Then Samson's wife wept on him and said,
You only hate me. You do not love me. You have posed a riddle to the sons of my people, but you have not explained it to me.
Look, I have not explained it to my father or my mother. So should I explain it to you?
Now she had wept on him for 7 days, while their feast lasted. And it happened on the 7th day that he told her, because she pressed him so much. Then she explained the riddle to the sons of her people. So the men of the city said to him on the 7th day,
What is sweeter than honey? And what is stronger than a lion?
If you had not plowed with my heifer, you would not have solved my riddle.
Then the Spirit of the Lord came upon him mightily. And he went down to Ashkelon, and took the life of 30 of their men, took their apparel, and gave the changes of clothing to those who had explained the riddle. So his anger was aroused, and he went back up to his father's house. And Samson's wife was given to his companion, who had been his best man. After a while, in the time of wheat harvest, it happened that Samson visited his wife with a young goat, and he said,
Let me go into my wife, into her room.
But her father would not permit him to go in.
I really thought that you thoroughly hated her. Therefore I gave her to your companion. Is not her younger sister better than she? Please, take her instead.
This time I shall be blameless regarding the Philistines if I harm them.
Then Samson went and caught 300 foxes, and he took torches, turned the foxes tail to tail, and put a torch between each pair of tails. When he had set the torches on fire, he let the foxes go into the standing grain of the Philistines, and burned up both the shocks and the standing grain, as well as the vineyards and olive groves. Then the Philistines said, "Who has done this?" And they answered, "Samson, the son-in-law of the Timnite, because he has taken his wife and given her to his companion." So the Philistines came up and burned her and her father with fire. Samson said to them,
"Since you would do a thing like this, I will surely take revenge on you, and after that I will cease."
So he attacked them hip and thigh with a great slaughter. Then he went down and dwelt in the cleft of the rock of Etam. Now the Philistines went up, encamped in Judah, and deployed themselves against Lehi. And the men of Judah said,
"Why have you come up against us?"
"We have come up to arrest Samson, to do to him as he has done to us."
Then 3,000 men of Judah went down to the cleft of the rock of Etam, and said to Samson,
"Do you not know that the Philistines rule over us? What is this you have done to us?"
As they did to me, so I have done to them.
"We have come down to arrest you, that we may deliver you into the hand of the Philistines."
Swear to me that you will not take my life yourselves.
"No, but we will tie you securely and deliver you into their hand, but we will surely not take your life."
And they bound him with 2 new ropes and brought him up from the rock. When he came to Lehi, the Philistines came shouting against him. Then the Spirit of the Lord came mightily upon him, and the ropes that were on his arms became like flax that is burned with fire, and his bonds broke loose from his hands. He found a fresh jawbone of a donkey, reached out his hand and took it, and killed 1,000 men with it. Then Samson said,
"With the jawbone of a donkey, heaps upon heaps, with the jawbone of a donkey, I have slain 1,000 men."
And so it was, when he had finished speaking, that he threw the jawbone from his hand and called that place Ramath Lehi. Then he became very thirsty. So he cried out to the Lord and said,
"You have given this great deliverance by the hand of your servant. And now shall I die of thirst and fall into the hand of the uncircumcised."
So God split the hollow place that is in Lehi, and water came out, and he drank, and his spirit returned, and he revived. Therefore he called its name En-Hakkore, which is in Lehi to this day. Now Samson went to Gaza and saw a harlot there, and went into her. When the Gazites were told, "Samson has come here," they surrounded the place and lay in wait for him all night at the gate of the city. They were quiet all night, saying,
"In the morning, when it is daylight, we will take his life."
And Samson lay low till midnight. Then he arose at midnight, took hold of the doors of the gate of the city and the 2 gateposts, pulled them up, bar and all, put them on his shoulders, and carried them to the top of the hill that faces Hebron. Afterward it happened that he loved a woman in the valley of Sorek, whose name was Delilah. And the lords of the Philistines came up to her and said to her,
Entice him and find out where his great strength lies, and by what means we may overpower him, that we may bind him to afflict him. And every one of us will give you 1,100 pieces of silver.
So Delilah said to Samson,
Please tell me where your great strength lies and with what you may be bound to afflict you.
If they bind me with 7 fresh bowstrings, not yet dried, then I shall become weak and be like any other man.
So the lords of the Philistines brought up to her 7 fresh bowstrings, not yet dried, and she bound him with them. Now men were lying in wait, staying with her in the room. And she said to him,
The Philistines are upon you, Samson!
But he broke the bowstrings as a strand of yarn breaks when it touches fire. So the secret of his strength was not known. Then Delilah said to Samson,
Look, you have mocked me and told me lies. Now please tell me what you may be bound with.
If they bind me securely with new ropes that have never been used, then I shall become weak and be like any other man.
Therefore Delilah took new ropes and bound him with them, and said to him,
"The Philistines are upon you, Samson!"
But he broke them off his arms like a thread. Delilah said to Samson,
"Until now you have mocked me and told me lies. Tell me what you may be bound with."
If you weave the 7 locks of my head into the web of the loom.
So she wove it tightly with the batten of the loom, and said to him,
"The Philistines are upon you, Samson!"
But he awoke from his sleep and pulled out the batten and the web from the loom. Then she said to him,
"How can you say I love you when your heart is not with me? You have mocked me these 3 times and have not told me where your great strength lies."
And it came to pass, when she pestered him daily with her words, and pressed him, so that his soul was vexed to death, that he told her all his heart, and said to her,
No razor has ever come upon my head, for I have been a Nazirite to God from my mother's womb. If I am shaven, then my strength will leave me, and I shall become weak and be like any other man.
When Delilah saw that he had told her all his heart, she sent and called for the lords of the Philistines, saying,
"Come up once more, for he has told me all his heart."
So the lords of the Philistines came up to her and brought the money in their hand. Then she lulled him to sleep on her knees, and called for a man, and had him shave off the 7 locks of his head. Then she began to torment him, and his strength left him. And she said,
"The Philistines are upon you, Samson!"
So he awoke from his sleep and said,
I will go out as before, at other times, and shake myself free.
But he did not know that the Lord had departed from him. Then the Philistines took him and put out his eyes and brought him down to Gaza. They bound him with bronze fetters, and he became a grinder in the prison. However, the hair of his head began to grow again after it had been shaven. Now the lords of the Philistines gathered together to offer a great sacrifice to Dagon their god, and to rejoice. And they said,
Our God has delivered into our hands Samson, our enemy.
When the people saw him, they praised their God, for they said,
Our God has delivered into our hands our enemy, the destroyer of our land, and the one who multiplied our debt.
So it happened, when their hearts were merry, that they said,
Call for Samson, that he may perform for us.
So they called for Samson from the prison, and he performed for them. And they stationed him between the pillars. Then Samson said to the lad who held him by the hand,
Let me feel the pillars which support the temple, so that I can lean on them.
Now the temple was full of men and women. All the lords of the Philistines were there, about 3,000 men and women on the roof, watching while Samson performed. Then Samson called to the Lord, saying,
O Lord God, remember me, I pray. Strengthen me, I pray, just this once, O God, that I may with one blow take vengeance on the Philistines for my 2 eyes.
And Samson took hold of the 2 middle pillars, which supported the temple, and he braced himself against them, one on his right and the other on his left. Then Samson said, Let me die with the Philistines. And he pushed with all his might, and the temple fell on the lords and all the people who were in it. So the lives he took at his death were more than he had taken in his life, and his brothers and all his father's household came down and took him and brought him up and buried him between Zorah and Eshtaol in the tomb of his father Manoah. He had judged Israel 20 years.
I was built for battle, born to fight. Hands like thunder, heart like stone. Every victory felt so right. Standing tall, I stood alone. Somewhere in the cheering crowd, I lost the boy I used to be. Got so caught up being proud, forgot what made me strong and free. Now I'm learning what it means to fall down from the highest place. When the walls come crashing down and the strength I knew is gone, I find out who I really am when everything goes wrong. There's a power deep inside that no one else can take. When the walls come crashing down, that's when heroes wake. Stone and steel, but the heart's what makes it real. Stone and steel, show me what I really feel. Used to think that being strong meant I never had to bend, but I was living life all wrong. Pride became my only friend. Now I'm sitting in the dark, learning how to start again. Every scar becomes a mark of where I've been and where I'll win. Now I'm learning what it means to build up from the broken ground. When the walls come crashing down and the strength I knew is gone, I find out who I really am when everything goes wrong. There's a power deep inside that no one else can take. When the walls come crashing down, stone and steel, but the heart's what makes it real. Stone and steel, show me what I really feel. Thought I was a mountain, but I was just a man. Now I'm digging deeper to find where I began. These walls I'll ever build are the ones inside my soul. And every time I fall apart, I learn to be more whole. When the walls come crashing down and the strength I knew is gone, I find out who I really am when everything goes wrong. There's a power deep inside that no one else can take. When the walls come crashing down, that's when heroes wail. Stone and steel, but the heart's what makes it real. Stone and steel, show me what I really feel. Stone and steel, now I know what makes me real. La da da, la da da. Oh, the weight upon my shoulder. La da da, la da da. When I thought that I was bolder, I was raised to be a champion, called to stand so tall. With hands that could move mountains, I believed I'd never fall. The crowds would cheer my victories, they'd sing my mighty name. But somewhere in the glory I forgot from where it came. Pride began to whisper, you don't need what came before. Self-reliance called my name, and I walked right through that door. Before the fall, I thought my strength was mine alone. Before the fall, upon my own two hands. The battles kept on coming, but I faced them on my own, till the day I found myself defeated and alone. Blinded by my arrogance, I couldn't see the way. Lost the source of all my might, threw it all away. Before the fall, before the fall, I thought my strength was mine alone. Before the fall, before the fall. Now I'm learning what it means to be weak. Now I'm yearning for the strength that I seek. In the breaking, I can finally see true power comes from surrender, not from me. After the fall, after the fall, I know my strength was never mine. After the fall, after the fall, I'll seek the source of power divine. La-da-da, la-da-da. Humbled but not broken. La-da-da, la-da-da. Truth is finally spoken.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, and share.